Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LPL matchup.
Bad trades here in the first few levels, which is really important.
Here we go. Going for that all in on the bot line as Elk forced to flash cleanse away, turn around with a deadly flourish, but here comes Tarzan. Level 3 gank down bot lane, on in danger. Another auto will come on through, donates first blood over to Light. Pounce on forwards, Elk chunk low, won't be able to get the kill down there, but that is a huge gank. Larissa will be here with Fated Ashes, so that would be a bit bold. We'll put down a ward. Maybe a Javelin toss can steal things away as Chris goes crashing on down onto On, but had the aftershock running did On, so let's get chunked out, but it's a much more valuable chunk on the AD carry on the other side. Way, with all of his plants used on the Krugs, is in danger here. The movement speed means he stays on the other side of the plant. Way forced to flash away. Tarzan with a pounce and a takedown, and a final auto gets the kill. Minion autos might kill him anyway, but he's got a primal surge. He gets out alive.
The Renekton Italy combo, which means that this is just an isolated Gnar versus Renekton 1v1. Funnily enough, something is Chris goes for an ult in.
On, taking low, the ignite coming on down. On,
more than a chunk.
Here. He could be in danger. Force shot not quite enough, and Light will come on down. Just to a 20% HP total, if that, but support dead and Weibo.
You don't see that very often right now. Way is now going to go over to all these Grubs rather, Tarzan.
Way in danger, but there's a Stranglethorn and almost waiting, but Tarzan in a deadly position. Knight follows up with a Fate Seal. Now Xiaohu in danger. Gold card will get him out to safety with a bit of that fleet footwork speed. Likely secure that. This is the Hextech Dragon, which is Zyra's arch nemesis when it comes to securing the East, because the Chain Lightning kills the plants.
You just saw that there, even though he was trying to redirect the Dragon aggro, ends up killing 2 plants instead because the Chain Lightning is really annoying, but still enough damage. Way is going to get himself, with that kill, off the next back, he'll get himself towards that Leandries. And that's the point when I think Zyra starts taking over the matchup. Because
walk in and finally secure this bit.
Yeah, so that's a nice, I guess, just flash away from Xiaohu in the grand scheme of things. On now has his flashback as well, and he has his ultimate. Grub spawning up in a minute, so we're now trying to see. I don't know whether there's a Scuttle Crab spawn coming through. Can't see the minimap. That is a good Dragon Lodge cancelled.
Oh boy, he's in so much danger. In comes the Destiny as well to spot out everyone else. Tarzan picks that one up, and they were trying to compete in the river, and unfortunately On gets a little split and falls down, and now in the top lane, we've got some danger coming on through onto Bim. Mid lane, Way looking for a potential dive onto Xiaohu. Flash over, but the Stranglethorns doesn't quite get the kill. Bin in danger, flashes on out to survive there. Mid lane, Xiaohu also alive.
Way misses the E flash, and now he has no flash. He doesn't have ultimate. Here comes Light.
Gonna get the Shattering Strike. Light will ult in, dodge away from the attempt from Knight to save the jungler. Knight in danger, being slowed down. Gets to walk on out. A Javelin toss is walked out from Elk as well. Get another kill.
Now they wait until the next big opening. They have the Twisted Fate ultimate still half off cooldown, so that's quite a long time for that one to come back. But they do have themselves that first item spike. On the other side, they have that too. But Weibo are in a position where they can force that spike a lot easier in the current state. Tarzan.
Oh dear, that didn't quite work out. Could still be dangerous. Ben's nearly at Megadar, and Breed's still under the turret. Oh, it's a disaster.
Bin has just taken Breathe to task. Chris going into mid lane. Elk has cleanse, has flash, will get away safely, but Breathe on this Renekton doesn't get the Nidalee support early, fails to combo up there, and has an absolute nightmare of a skirmish where he doesn't get the stun. Tarzan uses his spear early, and Bin walks away with an easy kill in the 1v2.
And Knight just gets first turret off the back of this as well. Herald taken by Way. It's all looking pretty good for there for BLG. The gold's back in their favor somehow, some way.
Yeah, they get themselves that first tower of the game, which gives them the first break bonus. That'll be large part of where that comes through, and it means that suddenly does. In fairness to Breathe, he did drop aggro. Ben just brought him back into it. That's a little bit of a difference there. But it's like, well, I have a displacement, let's bring you back, and now he's got to crunch against the wall.
What a gold card onto a minion means Xiaohu's got nowhere to go. The Stranglethorn secure the kill.
And Xiao, who had no flash, even if he plays that out well, he's just in the wrong position. Elk into the mid lane turret, happy to wave clear, and suddenly Weibo, they have this composition which wants to be ahead of the game. They are not afforded that many mistakes. They have now made those mistakes. BLG are ahead of them. Bin does have himself that side lane advantage. That's going to be a rough matchup now for Breathe for the rest of the game. You're now behind over 1,000 gold. This Renekton needs to be ahead, and I wonder whether Weibo didn't really respect the fact that because they were pathing bot lane early, they wouldn't really set up that Renekton for success. Help us, Light, please. Please, Light, help!
You
have 3 kills! So, it's basically on Light. As we've seen before, can he combo up here? That's the gold card.
Oh, that's not bad. Gets the ultimate on in. Juice damage on Elk. Gets the flash on out. Depth charge comes on through. They secure the kill on the Jin. Bin is slowed down. Cannot get onto the Kaiser. The teleport now coming on through. Chris backing away. Knight is also coming with the teleport and finds Tarzan, who immediately gets a big chunk. Flash on out from the Q3 of the Mortal Steel. And they prevent any kills back.
It's 1-for-1, all things said and done. Xiao who dies in the attempt, so it is gonna be even. And then what did we say about making these mistakes and this mid lane being low from the Herald? It's so easy to take it beyond that point. Light disengages from the play. I wonder whether he could have stuck around a little longer knowing that Tarzan was on the bot side of the fight, but he has that flash. He wants to hold on to that, I suppose. He's now in threat of being collapsed on. He has now very much overstayed. Chris coming down though, and maybe the teleports prove as a liar.
They had the additional teleport because they didn't bring Breed on the other side. Fate still prevents Tarzan getting in, but now On has to go over the wall to stay alive.
Yeah, but now Breeds uses his only teleport as well, so Weibo, they did have that extra global available.
Ow.
Breathe, low HP, suddenly he's going to have to recall. He teleports in and immediately has to exit.
Turrets for Weibo Gaming. Breathe might finally claim that one in top lane, but BLG have moved up as 3 towards this inner turret to support Bin getting a chunk on down there.
Yeah, so now if they can break him out to this own... Yeah, this is a big mistake by Elk. Big mistake. He's got to live here, and he dies, and suddenly that means no wave clear for mid lane turret. BLG are up in gold, or were up in gold, because they had that turret advantage. Knight might try and get an ult to try and keep this turret alive. He can't manage it, and Xiao's gold carded him.
They get the bolo up afterwards. He's melted. That's a huge kill. Light gets that one. They can look for a tier 2 after.
Yeah, Weibo proving that Knight pieces only move in L's. He goes down a really strange series of events. I think he just overextends trying to wave clear in that mid lane, and it's now suddenly dead Knight, dead Elk on the Baron. While Weibo are feeling it, they want to go towards the Baron. And BLG, do they even know this is happening? I don't think they do. They're moving over now, but they need to be quick. They don't have a teleport on Bin. They don't have Knight. They don't have Elk. This is going to have to be a 2v4.
There we go. Baron is down, and while they've had the Knight piece move in L's, they've got a light piece moving in W's. There's another kill for the AD carry of Weibo Gaming. They'll trade one back. Bin will get the inhibitor turret at least, but Weibo Gaming find themselves a monumental sequence of plays in mid. A bit of AP in the back pocket. I'm not sure if that's quite enough for the W upgrade. Forgive me, I'm not certain on the break point if the Fiendish Codex and the Blasting One does it. That's the back of the pit. Way is still there. He can certainly be a nightmare. Gets the Grasping Roots into the W afterwards. But Tarzan should be able to pounce on out of the back of the pit.
Yeah, so it's not going to be a Dragon Steel. Weibo pushing in the sidelines while this is happening. Light does have the AP upgrade. I actually wasn't quite sure either at that point, but you can see with the W hitting with the 3 stacks, that's how you know. It's Xiaohu getting this free time to split push from top 10. And Weibo, they have made this mistake before where they have gone for Dragons too heavily and they've denied their own Baron push. I'm glad they don't do that here. BLG, and now you can see that, Xiaohu is completely enveloped with that cloak of fog of war. He can move wherever he wants on his side of the map. He has the tier 2 ultimate, which means it's longer range and it's lower cooldown, which means that BLG, they don't know where he's coming from. When you start playing against a TF mid, this was always the case back with Twisted Fate mid lane, which is of course the classic role for that champion. I'm so surprised to see him in top lane still after all this time. You can need to ward out his initial jump off point to spot which side of the map he's going towards. They don't have that information. He's pushing out mid lane now. He will be on wards right now, but only once he enters your side of the map, and that is not how you want it to happen. BLG struggling to wave clear across the map, and that's the gold card!
That's what we're talking about. Elk immediately has to flash, cleanse away, stays alive. Knight will start heading on forward. Grasping Roots come on down on the Crisp, who's now in danger. Knocked up by the enemy. The Dread Knight afterwards lands onto Xiaohu. He's in danger. Teleport behind from Bin, who's a Mega Gnar, but they already murdered 2! Renekton and Kaiser claim the massive kills. Stun onto Bin. Mega Gnar's timing out, and instead it's just a small primordial Yordle in a dangerous position. The gold card comes on through. A Ferromancy crash down. And another kill comes on through, and BLG lose 3, lose the base, and can Knight and Elk hold on to anything else?
I don't know whether this is going to be more than an inhib, we shall see. Folks, if you saw Weibo go from World Finals to the bottom of the LPL, let us introduce you to this team again.
Kills here rather than anything like the Warmog, which you've seen from a lot of our tank engaged supports, because he needs to be able to manage that pick CC onto particularly Elk. He's been under continual threat, and if the cleanse is ever down, and it's down right now, it's so hard to survive. The problem is we're starting to hit a point where maybe this could be the turnaround. Never mind using on item builds. Crisp gets to crash away. The 4th shot comes on through, chunks out Tarzan, won't quite get the kill. The Dredge Line lollipops to secure Crisp's death. This would be sole point if BLG can secure it. They have got the additional member. Big moment there for BLG.
They're going to give up the dragon, noticing that they can't really walk into bot side river, but they can claim some vision back in top side here. They might even be able to force this down. TFL's been used to spot out BLG. They are not going to be here at the start of the Baron. This is going to evaporate. They have a Kaiser.
Knights TPing in is now here. We'll be able to blast cone over if they can make it happen. We'll try and look for the steal. Doesn't quite happen. He's in the pit, but of course it's just a mid laner. Baron secured in trade for that soul point. On now being attacked by Tarzan. Gold card in the backline. Here come the rest of BLG. But down goes the Nautilus. They trade out onto Xiaohu. But in comes Light with that killer instinct into the backline. A W flies across. The pounce and the swipes and a takedown secures Zyra. It turns out Cougar's a vegetarian after all.
And Weibo, they find themselves the light they need in this game to light their path to victory. Weibo get themselves that Baron, and BLG, they give a good fight around the double objective spawn. You see that Tarzan's getting harassed by Bin, but all Tarzan is doing, stopping Bin from wave clear backing in the base. It's going to be another inhib down at minimum. With the Baron buff, this could be even a potential for pushing in with super minions from that mid lane. BLG, they do have respawns coming through, so it shouldn't be the end of the game.
Flash on out from that one. Tarzan engaged with the deadly flourish is wide, but we can still look for the fourth shots. Missing one. Will hit the look. Can he still hit the fourth? Where's he going to be? Body blocked by Crisp. Can't make it happen. And he stays alive. Hand to Flash, but gets on out. Bin also burned it to escape from Crisp's crash down. Everyone stays alive. Bin now back in mini. Needs to be a bit afraid. Spear lands.
Oh no.
Allows the increased bounce range. Has a Starix, but the Cougar keeps hunting. Gold can with Azonius to stay alive. Crisp is forced to secure it, but the Gnar is dead.
Yeah, welcome to the modern era. Struggling to stop Weibo from getting fights in their own way. Gonna teleport into the enemy base. Breathe is teleporting into the base for a flank.
He is, and everyone else is in so much danger. On Mikhails himself and falls down. Magnastorm is there. Fate sealed. Will not stop Light careening into the back line. He is the freight train at the end of the tunnel. And the Knight meets the rest of the modern age. Welcome to the LPL BLG. Being wrecked by Weibo in this late game.
Yeah, it feels like plate armor on a Knight. Feels a little bit obsolete when you've got space guns on Light firing down on a broadside. BLG, they have been comprehensively out-accelerated, out-teamed for, out-macroed, and beaten to the punch by the consistently inconsistent kings of the LPL.
Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LPL matchup.
Quite land the last embrace. I was hoping to catch Knight with a little bit of additional CC, but still a little roam up from Light through the mid lane.
Yeah, wanted to quickly talk about Light as well. No, we're not going to have a chance to that. On has managed to find himself a Crisp. Way is down there too. Crisp will go down for first blood. He's going to go over to, has to be going over to the Zeri. Right. Going to take him a little while, but he'll take it.
Has to clean up a couple minions on the way out, but does go down, and first blood going on the way down there, and I wondered whether that flash on the Ornn would be not that high value with a spell book,
but beyond something like that. He's been less of that this year because it's been more about Tarzan, and now recently Xiaohu as well, being and Breeze's lane domination. They've changed their style somewhat with the players being changed too, but with Light being there, can be very, very powerful. On out with the slow. Chris gets another CC. Well, I mean, Xiaohu can bring it for him.
We'll make that happen. Gold card on down this time. The TF ult is summoned nice and early. Kill donated over. And the slow is enough at level 4. There's no way out there from Arnie, who has not had flash from basically level 2.
Breathe has exhaust, has himself level 6 coming up quite soon. But I was wondering if Wayward path up there all the same. It's going to be the grub's taken and been waiting to get himself really the Faded Ashes and the Leandry's completion to start making this Cassante's life hellish. I will say that Breathe typically has been very lane dominant. He has not looked like the better top laner between him and Bin so far, so he'll have to prove that once more. This is going to be on text, flashing back into the play. Dragon not being able to be finished by Weibo.
Not. Knight came rolling on down, and Wade took 3 grubs.
Wade just got level 6 now after mini wave, and that changes things. If he was level 5, this changes. Now Wade's here with that big engage ultimate.
Definitely looking for it. Dragon going low will likely be secure, but the double last embrace into the lulting lullaby could prove difficult. Good Glacial Prism prevents easy follow-up. Xiao is here, but how much damage do they still have? They're stuck in the pit, but the consistent damage right now is more there for BLG. You feel another last embrace lands. Crystal thinking about setting on forward. The curse to back must go down. Wei trying to get to the backside, as does Knight. Will not secure the kill on a Crisp. On goes forwards. Tarzan, though, continue to throw a blooming blow after blooming blow. Flash on forward from Light lands. Another last embrace. These hugs are just so miserable to manage. The gold card comes down on tonight, and it turns out it's a timeout. Way now in danger. No way to go except for the Arctic Assault gets it out instead from Elk, who has managed to level up off the minion wave and pick up time. Stepped on up towards this top lane for the rolls, but Way's going to be here, but so is On. Zeri coming on down, Grub 1 secured right now by Way, throwing out that volcanic rupture. Tarzan begins to blooming blow his way through those grubs. One of them will reset briefly. Way still here with Knight. Elf looking to trade out onto Light. In comes that TF ult as well. Swell Seed onto Way. Not going to be taken down quite yet as Tarzan. To at least one of these would need to smite. Holding on to it, will surely do so shortly. As in the backline goes Way. Damage onto Crispy's taken down. Way secures the grub as well as Tarzan's being run away. He's so much of the damage. They get a pull back with the Cassante. Lily will secure one of those back as a big old ultimate from the side of Bin secures another 2 dead on the side of Weibo Gaming as BLG came everything they came for.
BLG team fighting like this team confidence demands of them, and even though you have Breathe in the fight, you can't pull that exhaust in that fight. You can't get enough value out of that one, and BLG, now they have that early game advantage. And this game, we started off the early game saying that Weibo, they were the ones on the defensive footing now, and it feels like they have struggled with that. Maybe they can make an offensive play. Crisp teleporting in, has ult. How many other people are roaming to it? Here comes Light and Tarzan.
Comes out to everyone. There's still that ultimate available from Crisp, as Elk, I think, was knocked out of his wall right by Crisp's charge. Here comes that call of the Forge God. A slow afterwards. Elk has been hunted. It is big game season, and Lilia gets that kill.
Weibo turning him into roadkill, so Elk going down. Weibo pick up some of the kills they lost in that last confrontation. They'll be able to walk up towards the top side turret and take some damage and some plates off of that. On the other side, you can see that Knight is currently jumping forward under that bot lane turret, probably to get some plates of his own, and Weibo firing back. I think both of these teams would rather be on the offensive than the defensive. That's where they've been playing the best. Chris gets caught out at first. There is a gold card coming through onto Elk. You can just see that Elk is completely finding a free hit and zone off a lot of the damage. And at this point in the fight, Weibo are trying to play on the defensive, and you see that Light and Shao who just can't quite get the damage that they want in the right positions.
Yeah, especially because Tarzan was zoned off.
They have Knight in bot lane, they have Bin in mid lane, and they overstay it. Suddenly it's a 3v4, which they didn't expect. Ult under mid tower, that is a dead Shao Hu. Now he's on the weak side.
That was a shutdown as well. I think he was 4-0, even if he's behind in CS. So big kill coming on over Dragon. About to be secured, is done so. Tarzan steps forward to get the blooming blow across both the jungler and the Dragon. On now in danger. Tarzan has a flash, will go use it to get over the wall. Throws out a Swell Seed that goes wide. 4v1 means Breathe has nowhere to go, and Breathe is last.
Tarzan manages to get that Dragon quite bold to stick around in the river that long. Breathe dies for value out of those cross maps as well. I think in this game, this is a great example, folks, if you watch from other regions, if you want to learn how we play. And his Senna, currently 3-1 in summer, very successful through the year, 13 KDA. Not really being able to pull off the plays which he would like to so far. He's having to play defensively, and the Senna doesn't really want to be playing this defensively. Senna wants to be a lane bully, getting those soul stacks where you can. It's not, I mean, at 50 souls at 15 minutes is it's not really where you want that to be at all. You want that to be a little bit higher. It's not the worst it could be, but Weibo, they have themselves aggressive tools. They have been locked out from using them, and now with a hugely fed cannon who's currently in this brush, Weibo needs to be very, very afraid on the side lanes for this Yone, for the cannon.
Oh, he's stuck around.
And he's stuck around. Yes, Tarzan's on the same side of the map, but what happens if Wei comes up first?
They're all coming. Tarzan's here. Doesn't reset yet. Here comes BLG. Shao, who's in danger. Has a flash and a ghost trying to get out, but he's CC'd. Dead to right. Bin sticks around, gets the kill.
And Shao, who stays too long, Bin uses, he just continually channels that enhanced recall and says, well, am I going to go back? No, get the kill. And they suddenly find themselves, again, in a better map state. While this is happening, Yone is pushing up bot lane. They get to go recover this mid lane too. BLG are playing the wider map much better, and then Knight uses that side lane push to potentially look for a play.
Fate sealed on two. Big damage onto Light, who has no flash, no ult, no dream of getting on out of this one. The rest of BLG are here. Knight gets a second, and BLG are just pummeling this game.
DLG, they find themselves on the front foot with go buttons, and that is exactly what they are good at using. Herald now into the mid lane. They have 5 grubs. Chris probably shouldn't be here either. Just about gets out of that combo. Not going to walk forwards anyway. Take a chunk, and he'll make return for the tower gold as well. BLG might have just overextended the top lane, though.
Big chunk back onto Xiaohu, though. Bin having none of that. I'm going to slicing Maelstrom down. Will not quite get the kill. Here come the rest of Knight, though. Oh, wait, the BLG with Knight involved alongside Elk. to punish that collapse. They will get 2 onto Zeri, but the temerity of shutting Bin down.
First game was back and forth. This one has been back. There is no fourth. We have not been able to punch back nearly enough. They managed to get, what, one play around
maybe that move speed will be enough. But Weibo Gaming, they need to play a very defensive game at this point. Breathe will get a hold of this turret bounty. Xiaohu's just hanging out behind him in case someone decides to collapse. The rest of Weibo spot out BLG, trying to rotate through the river. We'll finally get that bounty. Claim that first turret of the game for themselves at 20 minutes of the game.
And again, just checking with Light's cell stacks. Really, I don't know, 25, 26 minutes, something more than that. It's going to be really late. And by that time, the fight might have just been determined. Xiaohu pops that ult to spot out the flank bin port.
He could be in serious danger. Will have the ability to get away. He's forced to flash out, and that's potentially a big moment. Teleport option is there from Knight. Would have been spotted out. They know he's there. Breathe on the other side. Remember, no flash. Will have a footwork and a W to work with, but I think he's already used some. Goes all out knowing he's pretty much dead to rights again and goes down. Well, there's Baron alive and a member dead for Breathe. They can just turn over the wall and look at it.
Yeah, Breathe's not there. He can teleport back into 30 seconds, but that will be far too long. Weibo, they don't have their own ult. They have the center ult and they have the Lily ult. That's what they got to play with. And while all this is happening, Knight still has his ult. Bin still has his ult. They are not safe.
Throws the bowling ball, but it is a spare. BLG split up. Bin's still on a flank. On can look to come over the wall as well. Look for him to try and get on in here. Crisp will try to searing charge away. Light flashes on now, but On still gets in the back line. And Zeri electrocutes them all. Shows Kennen exactly how it's done.
Danger, high voltage. Elk turns on the power as On flips the switch. Weibo, they get comboed as they try and retreat. They can't get themselves toward that Baron safely. I guess I know it's out of the hoops.
You know what? I don't know all of the details of how one makes glue out of various animals, but right now I'm gonna instead look at On being chunked low, but not down. Gold card comes on through, and Tarzan trying his very best to be scary. Doesn't really get that much value there. On stays alive. Will have, I believe, a Warmogs at this point, so won't even stay all that low HP for that long.
Yeah, there it is, starts ticking up. So BLG start pushing in yet again. They don't have flash on Bin, but I don't think they particularly care. They have teleport on him, so he can go across the map as he wishes. Breathe will get himself another objective bounty in that sideline, but it feels so little, so late. BLG just starting to crush down the base.
Doing that. Bin did get hit by the last embrace. On steps on forward with a headbutt, will not pulverize. Way Arctic assaulting in, gets hit with the gold card. Needs to be a bit afraid here as he gets knocked up. But the turnaround from Elk is foul. Shower down to about 20% HP is deleted in a matter of seconds. This Zeri is so threatening. You can chunk out the front line, but with no threat onto the likes of this Zeri, she is free to melt whoever she so much as looks at.
And this Elk Zeri has been such a key part of the damage. Weibo, they can't deal with the flanks, they can't deal with the carries. Tarzan's throwing in bowling balls towards his own base. He's trying to find something, but he doesn't even have ults.
Call of the forward guard comes across. Tarzan looking to get into the back line, but the last Nexus turret falls, and Knight will pull a fate sealed out, and they were woken up in game one. They were made angry. This is the BLG that ran spring in the LPL, and they are sprinting towards a Game 2 victory in a domination you read.
Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LPL matchup.
Light and Crisp, level 2, they're trimming the wave slightly, but they have 0 damage on Elk and On. This is going to be disastrous.
This could get very tricky. I don't think Light's got a satchel yet either, so he's in a dangerous position. Actually has got it now. Takes so much damage. Immediately burns down On. Traded back, so it's a 1-for-1. Crisp still under the turret. Is mounted up. Could crash down whoever takes the aggro. Goes down as
Wait, they could dive again! They could dive again!
And the teleport so late is straight into a grasping roots. Light flashes now, but they must try and get something more. Brand has killed Nara on the other side of the rift. It's a 2-for-2 game right now. A satchel charge back forces the flash out from Way, but it's not enough. Will not take another turret shot. And 3 kills in the bot lane because Light teleports back in to immediately die, and that wave is still lost.
I didn't know you could have the direst treatment as a Ziggs bot lane. He teleports in to immediately die, so it is 3 deaths in the bot lane for Weibo. BLG, this was the game plan. Tarzan was pathing towards topside. Was it worth it, Tarzan? Was it worth it to leave your bot lane out to drive with the most obvious dive comp in the history of the dives in that early game coming through? He's going to go towards topside again, trying to snowball top lane in response to bot lane.
Look to try and respond on that one. They need to get the stun. Bin still has that teleport, that flash rather. On splashed on up as well. Look for the handshake in the loyalty program. Tarzan taken low with the ignite. Bin nearly at Mega now. It's a disaster in 2 parts. Bot lane was episode 1. Welcome to episode 2. Attack at the top lane.
Weibo will need to see if they can get themselves on a revenge of the mid at this point, if they can try and get something in the last lane to be featured in this saga. BLG, this early game has been everything they wanted. They have the tools to roam across the map. Now they have won bot lane so hard. On can go wherever he wants. Breathe, left alone in top side. He got gifted that gank early, and he is now left to the wolves. No flash, way here.
Try and clear out the way best he can. We'll get nothing done. Bin gets that one, and suddenly you got 2 kills on the Gnar, 2 kills on the Kalista, and an early game.
Might just be the best team in the world, consistently pulling off bot lane level 3 dives, specifically that part of the game. Like they have faulted in other areas of the game since, but I think BLG, when they have been one of the best teams.
Don't get me wrong. I see what was attempted to be happening when Light teleport back in, because Chris still had the flash, still had the crash down, could have looked to catch onto the turret, but Light.
I think.
Oh man.
This is genuinely the point. Start your timers, folks. How quickly do you think this game will end? How quickly do you think this game will end? I think we could be on for a game which could be under 20 minutes being finished here from BLG. They have themselves that early pressure on the bot side. Tarzan's going to take away the grubs, which means that the time's going to take a bit longer. But how the hell do you play this game with the Ziggs who's 1 point
being down 20 CS? I just misread it on the glare on my screen. Shit. I was like, that feels like a big discrepancy for both of them at 80. I was like, no, that's a 6, Sam. Can't read.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, it's still even in gold. At least Tarzan gets something. That might be the saving grace for Weibo. We're talking about how still lane dominant this Kalista and Arda being and how they can work through it. Tarzan is the hope. Bin has flash. It's going to be a full combo.
That's a big chunk there onto Bin, who's being burned down. Tarzan wants to get the pyroclasm and some burns coming on down. Bin gets towards Mega Gnar and knows he's dead, so we'll leave the wave to die and get on out of here as Light finally at level 6 starts to sit in the middle of his 2 towers to try and throw an ult out like this.
Yeah, he has to use his ult to wave clear. This is already disastrous. The thing, BLG not being able to take through all of these plates / Tarzan things on this champion and turn things around. But, you know, that's an ult used for Light. You don't have an ult every wave. 10 minutes. Solo tower taken by Elk, and he's going to start roaming across the map. This is a huge bloody issue. What do you do now? He's going. You have changed the demon for 10 minutes only. Jungle coverage. I think Tarzan made the mistake with that early pathing. I've normally praised Tarzan's early pathing. Crisp is over the wall now. Maybe he can get himself a flank. But Elk is so strong. You should not be going for this. This is. I think Elk can potentially just team fight this himself.
Oh, they missed the juggle to win because he was satcheled out of the shattering strike. Bad combo from him and Crisp there to make that one happen. Elk just pops around. The plants are still there. Fate sealed over the wall. Xiaohu's slowed but not dead for now. And BLG just get everything.
Elk uses the Kalista ultimate to bring the Renata out of the picture so you can't get the brand bounce. That was insane by Elk, using the Kalista ult to make sure that the brand couldn't get that. Died at 10 minutes, rest in peace. Bin's going to take this turret in topside. They have their 3 grubs now, which is going to help them with the DOT on towers. They're going to be able to hit that very, very commonly. And now, onto the Herald. I mean, Weibo, what can you do? You don't have flash on Crisp. He does have his ultimate. Got some decent damage from Tarzan, but he has his flash. His ult's coming up in 5. That might be a slim opportunity. This brand ult, the brand play is the only thing which can save Weibo in this situation.
Yeah, he will need to do some miraculous stuff. We saw Milky Way pull off a few brand games from long way behind. I note 12,000 gold lead for NIP on a Yasuo Diana comp that started to fall behind.
It did happen twice, didn't it? Versus NIP and then versus LG as well. Bin has Mega, not going to be stunned up just yet, and because that stun doesn't come through, Tarzan has pathed up tier for very little. That means that he's been pulled out of position, and Elk can get himself an extended trade onto Xiaohu potentially in the mid lane as well. Bin still Mega, Crisp on top side, on roaming about, and once again, we find Weibo not being able to land any sort of counterpunch.
Nope, not this time around. Xiaohu gets a chunk onto Elk, but then the slow afterwards with the Blade of the Ruin King. Xiaohu back to about half HP himself, and then Elk presses E.
He didn't even rend, and that was the trade coming through. He is so fed. Light is going to try and wave clear again. He has the ultimate. He'll be able to clear through one wave. I was going to be able to cancel the recall as Xiaohu spots that skill shot from the ward in the brush. There's a minefield on the turret. He might be able to just ult through this, but even just getting an auto attack on tower means that it would have died likely to the DOT. The backdoor bonus would have been taken off. So Light chooses to save the ultimate. So that's going to go down. Top lane turret's going to go down. BLG, they have just broken the entire outer ring of towers. This was where BLG in spring, this was like the killer blow. If you lost your outer ring of turrets before they did, effectively the game was over. They are so good at getting to the play at the right kind of timing. Typically that was when Knight was on the Talia or the Ahri or something like that, but just in their instincts of finding players across the map, it is a big old problem. And suddenly you have, what, 7,500. Why Baron buff was changed to the way that it is. Because in Season 4, Ziggs wave cleared games, it was Ziggs and Nivea's era that was wave cleared for so long that you could just never stall out. On his core, he's not within the cholesterol range.
Goes down, gets a hostile takeover for a moment, but he's dead, and that's important to get something here. But they burned a couple key things for that. The flash on Crisp is notable. Knight, Valkyrie away. Shahu with the increasing move speed from the Soul and Bound can maybe look to get some damage down on in here. The Shattering Strike comes on through. They get that turnaround though. The Pyroclasm after will still be a lot of damage. They will lose Crisp, but they get Knight. It's a 2-for-1 overall.
Wave's coming up, Elk's coming up, and now the Callista's here. You can't fight with the Callista here. That is a big problem. BLG have been slow on the roam. Teleport's coming up. BLG, this has been a little bit lazy from them. You should be fighting around your Callista more. They have managed to corral him in. There's another teleport, and now they're outnumbered.
Satchel back onto Wave, puts him in a dangerous position. The Spirit Cleaves gets way low, but not down. My god, the damage. In comes that Zonyus to buy some time and space, but will surely fall. Plants get one back, though. Way bailed out, will not get put back to life, but the Plants get the work anyway. In the picture, look at the Gnar. He's on an inhibitor turret.
And Elk comes to play. Finally turns up, and BLG slaughtered through the top side. It was a little bit sloppy at the start, on dying easily outside of that cholesterol range, and BLG not quite able to bring the numbers to the play, but Bin, as he said, has been completely happy to go towards this bot lane turret. Inhibitor turret broken at 18 minutes. I don't think we're on track for the fastest game of LPL this year, but it's still going to be damn fast all the same. Knight's on the bottom side, they should know about that. Bin's going to walk towards his solo later, which means that Xiao, who can't really look for the angle he wanted, he's still not a known quantity here though by BLG, should still be enough.
Yeah, and Crisp will walk into his own jungle. There's Soul Point available for BLG to come and claim. We'll get to that one. They are so far ahead of BLG. What is that? 9,000, nearly 10,000 gold. It's
so it's a
quite a lot.
It's a bit much. Elk now has 2 items, which is more. Almost at that 3. Almost at that. I guess it'll be a Bloodthirster. I guess with the BF sword there.
Imagine.
Could potentially be that going through, which means that he's going to be so hard to kill. Weibo, I think that they've gotten a little bit more out of this mid-game than I thought they had in your right getting. I think BLG was slow on the roam. I think they were a little bit slow towards that top side. So one moment of sloppiness there from BLG. It's not been a perfect game, but still, make no mistake, they are very much in the driving seat. And wherever Elk is on the map, you expect that to be a huge victory. Elk, in fact, of course, now sticking around, waiting for that cholesterol to come back. Ultimate allows not to beat. I will say, I don't think I like the way that BLG have been playing around the Callista in the mid-game. Has kind of waltzed their way into plays rather than in the center of it. Now the Baron has been started. Elk will come over to this as well. Weibo forced to respond, but what response do they have? Bin is taking inhibitor. The Baron's going down. If they don't get there in time, Bin will take the inhibitor, and then he'll also have Baron opinions.
He's at Mega. He could look to come on in here. There's the Baron going down before Contest can come in. They're trying to reset the back of the pit. Flash on out from the Ziggs ultimate, the Mega Inferno.
They're teleporting to end!
And On is here with Xiao, who trying to one-shot it, but yeah, they're teleporting in. What is happening? On goes down, but the rest of the base is in danger. They hold on, but a Nexus turret falls, and BLG, Bin does that. Takes the inhibitor, they got to roll through mid lane, and they did that in a 4v5, by the by.
Bin's just teleported towards topside as well to keep the pressure going. Yone hasn't managed to get himself a recall, so Xiao, who has been caught well out of sorts. I don't really think this game's been his fault. He's kind of been, oh no, he's not going to be able to get cancelled, luckily, but that's a teleport gone, and BLG, yeah, you blow a lot of flashes, that's something, but, you know, to try and chase down the Renata like this is just not what you wanted, and now, of course, Xiao, who doesn't have his summoners and his ults, and he goes down.
Just gets that kill, but now he died somewhere off screen despite teleporting back. Don't quite know what happened there in the picture-in-picture, but is dead again somehow, some way. Now they're down that additional member as the base is already partly broken. Some remaining turrets for the side of Weibo Gaming, but it has been a disastrous game, all things said and done. Oh my days.
Now we even get some rock thrown in by Bin as well. It's another turret down. BLG, they're going to back off to get themselves Ocean Soul. So it's not going to be the end of the game with this Baron buff. But they've already broken the base, so it's not like they can't threaten a game-ending fight at some point too. I would hate to see this game go to another Baron. Come on, I mean, in some ways, this game now is about me judging how well BLG have played with the lead. Because this game, as soon as they snowballed that bot lane, as soon as Light was out of the game, this game was a foregone conclusion, unless Brand does silly things at some point. The top lane play, the trade of the early game pressure and the early game jungle pathing, it did not work out for Weibo, and I think criticism has to be leveled at both Tarzan and the rest of the team for making that decision, regardless of, we don't know, of course, who makes that call, but that's been a mistake. But BLG, when it came through to beyond getting that early game lead, I will say they haven't been great at forcing plays with the Kalista. I feel like there are times where they could have flashed forward and looked for the game-ending play. Wei is now on the flank. He maybe has gone too far. What is he doing here? He's the Zhonya's. He bought it for a reason.
Here comes on and out. They might have gotten away with it. What he's doing is buying a lot of space. Xiao gets an ultimate, but just no damage. The shield's too much. Has got a bailout and stays alive, and an Ocean Soul on top of it all. They went looking, and all they find is death and destruction.
And this is what they can do with this kind of lead. Bin doesn't have Mega, has Flash. Light's going to try and pop that ult. He does, but it's only going to get the Sterix for now. Breathe might even just die here.
Tried to get the kill, could not make it happen. Bin flashes on out from other damage, and with Ocean Soul on top of it all, and the rest of BLG shoving on for this tier 3 in top lane, this game is looking very lights out. There's not much more that Weibo can do. It's been that way since about minute 2.
BLG, it has been a stomp. The fact that we are judging them based on the strength of their stomp once they got that lead, and not the fact that it has been one in the first place, tells you volumes about this game. BLG, this is the way that they played when they were the best team in the LPL and one of the very best in the world. This is the style which got them largely to MSI finals. This is how they got there, and yes, they did end up losing.
Behind, they're going for last cast. They want to catch out Knight.
Yeah, they do. He has Flash. There's a teleport for him. There's a teleport for Bin as well if he wants to teleport in. Breathe, you're 2 levels down on Corki. That's a big one. That's going to be a bit of a pain in itself. He must have Flash out of the stun. Doesn't manage to, and Knight will go down. Misplays there.
Does he? There's a teleport from Bin, and they do finally kill Knight, but what happens to the rest of the base? They've lost the Renekton. It's a 1-for-1, all things said and done, and all the while, the super minions absolutely steamrolling through what remains of Weibo's base. They've got one final gas. Xiao, who looks for a fate sealed, but unfortunately the only thing that's been sealed is Weibo's defeat. Game 1 made us hope. Game 2 crushed it, and Game 3 has blown it to smithereens. BLG are still the team to beat.
BLG.
These were the best highlights from today's LPL matchup. Click that subscribe button faster than Ramus can say okay. See you on the next one.